towards the one, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, the only being united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the Spirit of guidance. Amen. Welcome, friends, to our interfaith chant and pray evening, specifically in honor of Murshid Wali Ali, who died yesterday morning, at least according to his time zone and ours in the United States, yesterday morning on Thanksgiving. And Murshid Wali Ali was the most sincere, dedicated, selfless, humble, powerful presence in the world of the dances of universal peace and in the lineage of pure O Murshid, Sufi Ahmed Murad Chishti, Samuel L. Lewis. And from I think it was 1968 that Murshid Wali Ali found Murshid Sam and started studying with him and served as his secretary for the next few years. And I'm intending to weave in some stories and sayings and teachings from Murshid Wali Ali this evening, and also to share a bunch of songs that either are inspired by or made popular by Wali Ali's teachings, or things that in some way align with his intentions and his purpose in life as a teacher, a mentor, a guide, and a holder of wisdom and the precious treasures of the Sufi lineage stream. So one of the things that I want to set as the beginning tone for our time honoring Murshid Wali Ali is, okay, thank you, is that he found Murshid Sam because he was looking for mystics and wisdom teachers that he could talk with about a dissertation that he was working on that I don't think he ever finished. But the dissertation was on the nature of God as laughter, or about the laughter of God that isn't just about the sound and the breath of God, but that the inherent nature, sound, and breath of God is one of joy, of delight and bliss, like the highest possible happiness. So I think it's an excellent starting point and an excellent reminder throughout our time, our practices, and our attunement to orient back to the nature of the soul and the nature of God that is joy. And I am aware, thank you, Polly, that because the original sound, I have it on so that when I start making noise with a guitar or a shruti box or a drum, it won't cut that sound out, but that means that you get to hear the heater and the refrigerator and whatever else is happening in the ambient space. And maybe once we start making beautiful music noise, that won't matter so much. I also, in a very silly way, want to point out that I wore a big handmade chunky hat in honor of Murshid Wali Ali, because almost every time I was with him, and most of the pictures of him that you'll see, he's wearing some kind of a big fluffy handmade knit or crocheted hat that so I always think about him in that way, even though he also just had his wild, long, beautiful hair too. Okay, so we're gonna start with Astaghfirullah, because there's nowhere else to start. And Astaghfirullah is an Arabic word, phrase, prayer that is usually translated as seeking the forgiveness of God. And it also has an essence of coming back into perfection. And the perfection is our home and our source and goal, which is God. And so it seems an appropriate place to start and also end and weave throughout. So the particular melody that we'll be doing this time is most likely a traditional melody that Murshid Wali put to a dance, and so it's a very popular, common practice in the dances of universal peace, astaghfirullah, looking for the purification and the perfection of our own beings in the heart of God. And then La ilaha illallah, there is nothing except the one. Everything that ever was, is, and will be is part of that divine being. And then a bunch of Allah. So the words are in the chat window for you if that's helpful for you. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, la ilaha illallah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, la ilaha illallah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. That was a nice teaser. We're going to bring the key up a little bit. It'll be a little better for us. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, la ilaha illallah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, la ilaha illallah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Murshid Wali Ali was a great friend to the Sufi message of Piro Murshid Inayat Khan. And a lot of the things that Wali Ali taught about and spoke about were the core teachings and the practices that were given by Piro Murshid Inayat Khan. And a lot of those things came through Murshid Sam, that Murshid Sam had inherited these teachings, was given these teachings through Inayat Khan directly and through Inayat Khan's instruction for Murshid Sam to write commentaries on his teachings. And Wali Ali had his own version of writing or speaking commentaries on Murshid Sam's commentaries on Inayat Khan's teachings. And one of the things that he spoke a lot about in the times that I was with him was the invocation, that we speak the invocation at not everyone in the whole wide world, but a whole lot of people in the whole wide world speak the invocation at the beginning of any dance meetings and also at the beginning of the universal worship service. And there were so many things that Murshid Wali Ali would talk about with the invocation. And one of them was the simple Darood practice that Murshid Sam gave, which was the very simplest form of breathing in toward the one and breathing out toward the one. There are lots of versions of it, but that is the cleanest and the easiest form, breathing in toward the one, breathing out toward the one. And then I heard Murshid Wali Ali speak about this phrase, toward the one, and how confusing it is for people, because we assume that if we are moving toward the one, it means that we think that we're not the one, which is a silly confusion, that of course we're the one. Then he says, it says the only being. How could we possibly not be included in the only being? If it is the only being, it by definition embraces, encompasses, includes every single one of us. So we are moving toward the one as an intention from the reality of as the one. So we're going to sing the invocation, and this is a melody that was composed by my first dance mentor, Timothy Dobson, and after I had 20-something years with Timothy Dobson, I transferred my dance mentorship to Wali Ali because, as I told Wali Ali, I needed the thing that I felt that I needed as a leader, as a teacher, a facilitator, was not about more melodies and more dances and more outward skills, but I told him what I really felt that I needed was a solid zap of Murshid Sam. And Wali Ali's response was, well, I could do that. So here's weaving together the mentors and the teachers through the invocation and Timothy Dobson. So I'll put the words in the window for those of you who might not be familiar with it. Oh, you got a number 1 on it, even though it's actually number 2 on our list, but there you go. Towards the one, the perfection of love, harmony and beauty, the only being, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the Spirit of guidance, towards the one, the perfection of love, harmony and beauty, the the spirit of guidance towards the one, the perfection of love, harmony and beauty, the only being united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the spirit of guidance towards the one, the perfection of love, harmony and beauty, the only being united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the spirit of guidance towards the one, the perfection of love, harmony and beauty, the only being united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the spirit of guidance towards the one, the perfection of love, harmony and beauty, the only being united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the spirit of guidance. Let's take just a few minutes to practice a couple of the Darude concentrations that Murshid Wali offered and led. First, as I mentioned before, is breathing in towards the one and breathing out towards the one. And the next one is breathing in towards the one and breathing out united with all. Breathing in towards the one, breathing out united with all. And then try flipping that. It'll feel a little odd to begin with, but I have faith you can do it. Breathing out towards the one and breathing in united with all. Breathing out towards the one, breathing in united with all. And finally, here's the advanced practice for those of you with big lung capacity and strong concentration. we're breathing in the first half of the invocation and breathing out the second half of the invocation. So it's breathing in towards the one, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, the only being. And then breathing out, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the Spirit of guidance. Breathing in towards the one, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, the only being. Breathing out, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the Spirit of guidance. I'll speak through that form one more time. Breathing in towards the one, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, the only being. Breathing out, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the Spirit of guidance. So one of the things that Murshid Wali was super well known for, that I don't know if he even made particular note of it, but it has become such a well-known story that came from Murshida Khadija Goforth, who was describing her frustration and boredom with the Universal Worship Service, the formal Universal Worship Service. That's the whole thing, lighting the candles, reading the scriptures, and attuning to all of the different faith traditions. And she described, Murshida Khadija described her discouragement with the Universal Worship Service and her, I could say, exasperation with it, that was just feeling like it was tedious and dry and uninspiring. And she asked Murshid Wali about it in the line to get food going into the dining hall at the Mendocino Sufi camp. And she recalled Murshid Wali bellowing at her, and she always described it with such emphatic, like, he said, "Well, how does the universe worship?" That's the question. How does the universe worship? Well, that's the entirety of that particular story. It's only the beginning of the story. That Murshid Wali also spoke extensively, I could say endlessly, about the presence of God and the necessity for us in our humanness to develop a relationship with that God ideal, to understand and cultivate what that entity is within each of us for our own hearts, so that we can learn to worship. That is, with all sincerity, with all humility, with egolessness, and with that attunement of being curious and really looking to understand the expression of all of creation that is constantly worshiping God, that we can invite ourselves into that constant availability of worship. How does the universe worship? So we'll do a few songs that are in some way tied to Murshid Wali and the Universal Worship Service. So this one is the melodic Ramnam that was made. It was put into a dance by Pir Moinadine Jablonski. That was a friend and a colleague of Murshid Wali, and it's a delightful dance and a simple attunement that was such a constant practice of Murshid Sam. That is Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. And with this particular one, there's also the opportunity to just intone Om endlessly forever, if you wish, because Om is endlessly forever. So you can sing the melody or the Om, or alternate back and forth as you wish. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, 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 Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai one of the most common and simple and difficult teachings from Murshid Sam and the Murshid Wali adopted is the two-word instruction, don't react. Sometimes that's expanded to stories in which someone would be going to talk with Murshid Sam and he would say, now the important thing is, don't react. So maybe we need a little warning in order to not react. And it's such an excellent instruction, not because we are expected to overcome our human tendency to react, but because we are invited to have a balanced relationship with our own inner life so that we can keep our equanimity regardless of the circumstances, which really is the primary Sufi instruction along with the primary Buddhist instruction. So we're going to visit a very simple chant of compassion that Murshid Wali had put this into a dance, but it's so simple I'm reluctant to call it a dance, actually. And the melody is so simple that it can just be one note, if you wish. The phrase is Om Mane Padme Hum. There are different versions and pronunciations. This pronunciation, Om Mane Padme Hum, is Sanskrit. Sometimes you'll hear a slight variation on that is either a Tibetan or an interesting kind of hybrid version, but this is the Sanskrit pronunciation. Om Mane Padme Hum. And in this, if we were up doing the dance, it would be creating prayer wheels with groups of dancers that are ideally eight dancers, so that you have at some points everyone has one hand toward the center of their little prayer wheel, and while they're walking in place, they are embodying this eight-spoked wheel of the Buddhist teachings. And the gesture of the movements changes every 4 repetitions of the chant of Om Mane Padme Hum. And the whole point, in my experience, this isn't something that I heard Wali describing, but in doing a dance like this that has so much simplicity, that's easy to get lost and to get to zone out. And Wali was very keen on reminding us not to zone out, that it's not about whether you have your eyes open or your eyes closed during a dance, but it is about whether you keep yourself fully engaged in the body. That is the point of the dances, is embodied practice, not disembodied practice. So we'll be reciting Om Mane Padme Hum, Om Mane Padme Hum, the mantra of compassion that is honoring the perfection that resides in the shining lotus heart of all sentient beings. And since it's a monotone, you're welcome to add harmonies if that helps keep it interesting. And I figure we'll just chant this for maybe 5 minutes, or maybe we'll go for around even 8 minutes. We'll see. So, Om Mane Padme Hum, 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 Padme Hum. Om Mani 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 Padme Hum. One of my, I could say in this moment that this is my favorite Murshid Wali Ali quote of all time. That is very new. That was reported by his beloved wife, Sabura. That was a description of how he, in his dementia, was just falling into just the constant free associative quality and activity of the mind, which could often this was going on for many years, actually, that he got more and more free associative. And that sometimes there would just be a long string of things of just expressing whatever was arising, whatever popped into the mind. But she described that every so often in the midst of the stream of consciousness, there would be a shining treasure of a teaching. And this one is when Murshid Wali Ali said, "Our work is to let our love be large." Our work is to let our love be large. And I am hopeful that that quote of Murshid Wali Ali will, in my awareness and my memories of him, be the most perfect shining treasure of his teachings. Our work is to let our love be large, which is encapsulated in that mantra of compassion. Okay, so next we're going to go to a Sikh chant that was also made most common through the movements that Pir Moinadeen put to it, and that is sometimes often attributed to Wali Ali as well. So I get the impression that after Murshid Sam left his body and gave the instruction for his disciples, or his kids, people referred to them as his kids, to carry on the work, and they started taking on the responsibility of not just leading dances, but creating more opportunities for the dances to take embodied expression. So this one is from the Sikh tradition, that is a child of an expression of Hinduism through Guru Nanak. And the phrase is Ek Onkar Satanam Siri Wahe Guru. Ek Onkar Satanam Siri Wahe Guru. And this is in the language of Gurumukh, which is a Sikh phenomenon, that is a language that is really used primarily, if not exclusively, for prayer, for expressing the praises of the One. So Ek Onkar means there is only the One, there is always the One. Satanam, truth, is the essence and the reality of that one being. Siri Wahe Guru is the indescribable wisdom and piercing insight of the divine guru, the divine teacher, that is all-pervading. And the Wah is the expression of enlightenment, of realization, that Guru Nanak exclaimed upon his own enlightenment. So Ek Onkar Satanam Siri Wahe Guru. And this one we're gonna, it's a happy major key little ditty. Feels like a nice balance to our single tone mantra of compassion. Ek Onkar Satanam Siri Wahe Guru. Ek Onkar Satanam Siri Wahe Guru. Siri Wahe Guru Ji, Siri Wahe Guru. Siri Wahe Guru Ji, Siri Wahe Guru. I apologize, I forgot to put the G in there. Sometimes we add a G in there, which is an exclamation of endearment. It is an indication of someone being so precious and so beloved to your heart. So when we say Siri Wahe Guru Ji, then we're adding our love and our devotion and our heart's enjoyment and cherishing of this being, of this great universal cosmic divine guru. Okay, sorry about that. I'm not sorry about that. I'm sorry I didn't tell you that earlier. Ek Onkar Satanam Siri Wahe Guru. Ek Onkar Satanam Siri I love that Murshid Wali Ali taught and spoke about Piro Murshid Inayat Khan's prayers and about prayer practice in general. That this was really his charge as the head of the esoteric school, that it was his responsibility, privilege, honor, and I think delight. He seemed to very much enjoy this particular role to gather all of the wisdom teachings and the practices, the pedagogy and the the insights, the shining gems of Inayat Khan and Murshid Sam's lineage stream, and to present them in an organized way to make them useful for every seeker on the path. And so there was a way that he was describing our relationship with the prayers, in particular the spoken prayers of Piro Murshid Inayat Khan, including the invocation and the prayer Som and Khatum and Nayaz and any of these beautiful prayers. I find them beautiful. And he said that there was a way that each of us will forget, like we'll start reciting the prayers or concentrating and contemplating on the prayers, and that we'll forget them because the heart has a natural tendency to want to do its own prayer that is separate from, that is the unique personal expression. But that there is a way that we are invited into he described it as the breath of realization of Inayat Khan, that the prayers that are entrusted to us, that are given to us by this great master, are a gift and a way that we can enter that atmosphere and that living vibration of realization that Murshid Inayat Khan had. And then Wali Ali described that really the whole point of doing prayer is for the moment that maybe you recite a particular phrase or a particular prayer 1,000 times, and maybe one of those 1,000 repetitions has a sincerity about it that lands for you with a powerful awareness that is like, wow, I've said that 1,000 times, but that one time that I said it, I really meant it. And when you really mean it, it has a strong impression on your being. And he said that impression of that one time that you really mean it is the whole point of prayer. That is what prayer really is. And that the 999 other repetitions are only the shell of prayer, that are maybe the shape and the color, but are not the living reality at the essence, at the heart of the prayer. So we are invited to repeat it as many times as we need to get to that one repetition that is really sincere, that is completely humble and completely wholehearted. There was something else I wanted to say about that, but I've forgotten what it was. So we'll sing something else instead. We're going to visit a zikr phrase again. We're going to come back to a zikr phrase a few times. And I understand that Murshid Wali Ali's body has been available for people to go and visit and pay their respects and offer prayers today. And this is a melody that is specifically about praying for and with the body of the deceased and offering our blessings, our prayers, and our remembrance, which is really what zikr means, the real, sincere remembrance of the all-pervading and only true reality that is God, that is, especially in the context of the dying and the dead, that is about realizing that the body just like the shells of prayer, the body is but the shell of the soul, and that the soul is free. And there's no more powerful image and experience of that reality than actually being with the physical body after the soul has departed. That it is such a palpable, tangible, irrefutable, undeniable experience of knowing that that shell is no longer the living being, no longer holds the essence of that person's intelligence, that person's mind, and the eternal soul that is moving on its journey. So we'll sing the zikr phrase, La ilaha illallah, 3 times, and then Muhammadur Rasulullah. That is, Muhammad was the messenger of God. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, Murshid Wali Ali spoke extensively, almost endlessly, about love. Love as the essence of the path and the only thing that is needed. There was a time that I heard him describing all of the prayers and practices and the dedication of showing up for the spiritual exercises that were assigned, that are given, and the importance of that. But I know the word "but" negates everything before it, which I guess works in this context. That he said that with all of the practices that he's done over all of the decades through his entire life, that any realization that he has ever had came through grace. Any realization that he ever experienced came through grace, not through discipline, not through consistency and endless repetitions of anything, but through grace. And that's not an excuse or an invitation to not do the practices. It is because the practices help ripen the field. And but knowing that the blessings that arrive come through the generosity and the free-flowing beneficence of the beloved. So then he spoke a lot about the role of the teacher and about the tremendous blessing that the teacher is in the life of the seeker, of the murid, of the dedicated student. And the students are asked to bring as much sincerity and devotion as they can to the path, to their own awakening, not to the teacher and not for the sake of the teacher, but for the sake of the awakening of the soul. And when Murshid Wali Ali would describe what the role of the teacher was, he would describe it as seeing the perfection of the soul of the murid and beholding the murid, the student, with so much love that the real work or the real function of the teacher is to awaken that love element through example, through a living example, and to serve as Cupid. And that was the word that Inayat Khan used for it too, that the teacher functions as Cupid, that is the angelic being that just strikes love into the heart of the devotee and helps them focus entirely on sending their love toward their God. So we're going to do a song that is from Yogananda that is an attunement to this everlasting, eternal quality of love that is in the heart of the lover, and also the request that this love component be awakened within ourselves and that we be that living example for others. So we'll sing, "May thy love shine forever in the sanctuary of my devotion. May thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of my devotion. And may I be able to awaken thy love in all hearts, in all hearts. May I be able to awaken thy love in all hearts, in all hearts. May thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of my devotion. May thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of my devotion. And may I be able to awaken thy love in all hearts, in all hearts. May I be able to awaken thy love in all hearts, in all hearts. May thy love the sanctuary of my devotion. May thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of my devotion, and may I be able to awaken thy love in all hearts, in all hearts. May I be able to awaken thy love in all hearts, in all hearts. So nice to see so many of you this evening. I'm not sure if I can catch everybody that has popped in since I said hello at the beginning. Hello Karima, hello Svancha. Somehow I'm not surprised you're still awake, Svancha. Hello Mirabai. Hello Jane Hadia. Hello Joseph. Hello Laura. And if I've missed anybody, I apologize. Okay, we have probably time for 3 more. Well, it depends on how many stories I tell you. Let's see. I think we'll visit a spoken zikr next. That I never heard Murshid Wali Ali say that it was his favorite Sam dance, but I experienced him leading it more than any others. I have to check my brain. Maybe that's not true. I certainly danced Yahai Yahak with him a lot. We're not going to do that one right now, but that's probably like a close second to this one. So this one was, Murshid Wali Ali called it a transmission dance. There were several transmission dances that Murshid Sam offered that included some way that the teacher, the leader of the dance, would interact with participants in a way to convey a particular energy and power and blessing. And this one was originally designed as a circle where everybody in the circle is doing this sweep and bow step gesture movement with a spoken zikr of La ilaha il Allahu. La ilaha il Allahu. La ilaha il Allahu. La ilaha il Allahu. And that would continue forever with the circle doing that zikr phrase with the sweep and bow gesture for the entire thing. And one at a time, Murshid Sam, or whoever was leading the dance, but it was originally Murshid Sam, would always be the person in the center of the circle that would invite participants in one at a time. And the entire circle would keep doing this spoken zikr phrase, and one at a time Murshid Sam would invite one person in and circle with them with their hands toward each other, palms forward, but not touching. So it's just a radiant conveyance, transference, offering, pouring forth of blessing of El Allahu, El Allahu, El Allahu, El Allahu. And then that person would go back to the circle and the next person would come in. And the teacher would be there just blasting El Allahu. I shouldn't say blasting. I don't think Murshid Wali Ali would call it blasting. But if you had the privilege and and the benefit of doing this dance, either with Murshid Sam or with Murshid Wali Ali, it was definitely a blasting. So and that's really the point, that this Allah presence, all pervading power reality, is really invited into our beings. And when we're really sincere about it and not protecting and not defending and not cherishing the ego, which Murshid Wali Ali talked about a lot, then there's no room for anything but God. And then all of that power presence, all of that living reality is entirely welcomed into our beings, because it is our nature. And there is nothing to restrict it or obstruct it or confuse us away from it in any way. So El Allahu as a blast. And I wonder if Rahima might like to drum for this one. Would you like to drum for this one? Because then I would have both hands free to be able to come and get you. Okay, so let's see. I think I can probably navigate this enough to be able to, maybe not on the recording, it gets a little weird. Okay, well, I'm not going to call out your names, but I am going to focus on one of you at a time, and I am going to scroll through so that I can see you, and I invite you to set up your gallery view if you're not already there, so that you can see everyone else on the screen. And I hope that you're getting a nice solid glimpse of Murshid Wali Ali hanging out with us from the side of the circle. And so we'll keep him in our view. We'll do 4 repetitions of the zikr phrase. You're welcome to do the gesture with me if you like. And then we'll do El Allahu, radiant toward. I encourage you to just choose one Zoom window at a time and to wander through offering this blessing, this affirmation, this reminder and adamant confirmation of the living presence of God, El Allahu. Okay, I'll try to be clear about the instructions. Starting with, let's start with 8 repetitions of the zikr phrase so we can just get nice and comfy in that rhythm. Okay. La ilaha Allahu. 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 La ilaha and you can keep that going, or El Allahu, 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 El Allahu. Zikr. La ilaha Allahu. La ilaha Allahu. La ilaha Allahu. La ilaha Allahu. El 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 Allahu. Zikr. La ilaha Allahu. La ilaha Allahu. La ilaha Allahu. La ilaha Allahu. La ilaha in Allahu. La ilaha in Allahu. La ilaha in Allah el Allahu 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 zikr. La ilaha in Allahu. La ilaha in Allahu. La ilaha in Allahu. La ilaha in Allahu. El 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 Allahu zikr. La ilaha in Allahu. La ilaha in Allahu. La ilaha in Allahu. La ilaha in Allahu. El 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 Allahu zikr. La ilaha in Allahu. La ilaha in Allahu. La ilaha in Allahu. La ilaha in Allahu. El 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 Allahu zikr. La ilaha in Allahu. La ilaha in Allahu. La ilaha in Allahu. La ilaha in. Four more. La ilaha in Allahu. La ilaha in Allahu. La ilaha in Allahu. La ilaha in Allahu. This next one is in Hebrew, and it is a blessing for the soul that is purified from all of the hardships of the world. So there are three different parts to it, but the first two of them are very simple, and you can sing either one of those constantly if you wish, and then there's a third chant that's more complicated. The words are in the chat window for you if you'd like to try to sing along with them. Of course, they're not in the Hebrew alphabet, but, so they're misspelled because I used English letters for them. So we're saying Tehorahi, Tehorahi, which is she is pure. It translates to she is pure. And in the Jewish understanding, the soul is always feminine. It's not tied to any gender or sexual expression of the body. That is the soul inherently feminine. And so she is pure. And then the next part of it, the Hebrew is Kol Mishparecha Vegalecha Alai Abaru. That is saying all of the, literally it's all of the breakers and all of the waves. That is like all of the tumultuous, dynamic, changing rhythms of the ocean have washed over me, have done their work, and all that remains is this pure, perfect soul. Okay. So offering this blessing to the soul of Murshid Wali Ali, that is, always has been absolutely pure, and the freedom from the worldly distresses. Tehorai, 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 Kol Mishparecha V'galecha Alai Abaru. 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 v'galecha alai avaru. Kol mishparecha v'galecha alai avaru. Tehorahi, 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 Tehorahi. Kol mishparecha v'galecha alai avaru. And as a blessing to facilitate and honor and to ease the transition of the soul back into the arms of the beloved, we'll recite Ya Rahim. That is the expression of mercy and compassion. Ya Rahim, 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 Ya Rahim. One of the things that Murshid Wali Ali said about his first encounter with Murshid Sam was that he went to a meeting, a class with Murshid Sam, and the first words that Murshid Sam spoke to Wali Ali were, "Don't block the door," which Wali Ali took as not just a worldly instruction, but a sweepingly applicable instruction about the path, about the path of the heart, the unfoldment of the soul, and also the role of the teacher. That he described this as, while it is the teacher's job to be Cupid and to help unite the loving heart of the devotee with the beloved, that it is also to get the ego out of the way so that it does not block the door, so that this misguided attachment to self does not create an obstacle on the path. So get out of the way, and there's nothing but the beloved. Okay, so we have just enough time left for Kalama. We have to end with Kalama. I don't know. Maybe it was always Murshid Wali Ali's job to close a gathering to close a retreat, to close an auspicious moment with the kalama as the strongest, most beautiful melodic attunement to Murshid Sam, and also as a beautiful connection to the entire worldwide community of dancers, of beloveds, of friends on the path. So kalama, and you are welcome to include the counter melody if you wish. I expect probably one of us at least will. Oh, I should probably give you the words. You don't need the words. Maybe one or two if you need the words. Okay. So this is the statement of faith. That is 3 repetitions of La ilaha illallahu, 3 repetitions of acknowledging, witnessing, testifying that there is only one, that everything is part of that one being, the only being. And then Muhammadah Rasulullah, Muhammad was the messenger of God. La ilaha illallahu, la ilaha illallahu, la ilaha Ya Shakur, Ya Rahim, Ya Salamu, Ya Fatah.